I dive in, I'd like to share an observation I made today and at the Wilmette protests. I saw lots of groups of white people, families and friend groups, talking about their lunch plans or what their plans were for the summer because of quarantine, while I also saw black families standing isolated and alone, excluded from these conversations. I want to ask everyone who's ignoring these conversations going on today, why are you really here and who are you here for? I'm a longtime Wilmette resident and I graduated New Trier in 2018. I had a terrible time at New Trier. Don't get me wrong, the academics are impressive and the athletics are great, and I made many lifelong friends there, but I was never able to fully enjoy the amenities presented at this school because of the constant anxiety I had to experience because of my race. I am a black woman. However, I am biracial, I am light-skinned, and because of that, I know that I had an easier time than my dark-skinned brothers and sisters that also went to this school, and that is unacceptable. Every person who physically appears black in this area has a much harder time in the New Trier Township School District than I did. I'd like everyone to take a look at the crowd today. Most of you will be able to recognize someone from the same racial background as you. That was a privilege I was never able to experience at New Trier. When you're a black person at New Trier, you stick out whether you like it or not. If I stood here and listed every single act of racism that I had to witness and experience at New Trier, we'd be here all day. So instead, I'll talk about some of the common experiences that all black students at New Trier have experienced. Every black student at New Trier knows the feeling of eyes on the back of your head when a teacher merely mentions slavery or Jim Crow or Trayvon Martin. Every black student at New Trier has overheard another student say, "Why haven't you spoken up? Aren't you the only person that can actually speak on the topic of racism?" Every black student at New Trier knows what it's like to be called on by a white teacher and asked, as a black person, how do you feel about this subject? I do not completely blame these actions on the student body. No, I blame the staff of New Trier. New Trier's teaching faculty is so white that black students are pressured to be the ones educating their peers on racism instead of the teachers that are hired to do so. Individual black students should never be expected to speak on behalf of an entire race. New Trier's faculty constantly sweeps issues of racism under the rug and it hurts. Every single time a student is caught saying the N-word or drawing swastikas on a bathroom stall, we receive the same response. New Trier as an institution does not tolerate racism, and we're doing everything that we can to prevent this action from happening again. What action, New Trier? You don't require your students to learn about racism. You get rid of seminar day, the one time of the year that I'm allowed to learn about my own history, and you barely punish your students that get caught being racist. Come on. Black people have become tokens of New Trier. Black people have become statistics in this area. Evidence for the school to say, we're not racist. Check out our 25 black students. New Trier has made it crystal clear that they care more about being called racist than actually dealing with the racism that goes on within their school. I'd like to recount a particularly painful instance of New Trier ignoring racism. A friend of mine was in an American Studies group chat when one particularly alt-right student in the chat began sending horribly racist messages. I apologize in advance for how horribly graphic these descriptions are, but you all need to understand how awful they were. He was sending images of lynched black men and a horrible cartoon of Klansmen using dead black men as a hammock. I had a class with this kid, and it's no understatement to refer to him as a Nazi. He loved to draw swastikas on his homework and look at pictures of assault rifles on his school iPad. I genuinely feared for my safety around him. I had my friends send me the screenshots of the messages, and I sent them to the boys and girls junior advisor chairs. I was later pulled out of class to discuss the images with them. I explained his consistent racist behavior, and they reassured me that his actions were unacceptable and that they would handle it. I left the office confident that they would. The next day, the Nazi kid was still in my class. I later learned that his punishment for promoting white supremacy and hate crimes was 1 morning detention. He served 40 minutes for his hatred. New Trier's advisor chair heard a fearful black student explain that a blatantly racist student was roaming their halls, and they actively chose to let him continue his behavior. The advisor chairs, time and time again, let racism slide in New Trier, either because they themselves are racist or they truly don't care. And I don't know which one is worse. I actively call for New Trier's all-white board members and campus administration to reevaluate who they hire to hand out discipline, because I truly despise the current junior advisor chairs for sending the message that racism can and continue to go unpunished. New Trier is a racist institution that I've never been proud of attending, and it's because of the ignorant faculty. Black students are constantly victims of racism at New Trier, from smaller microaggressions to even hate crimes. Every day I had to experience the loneliness of being the only person of color in my classes or on my athletic teams. Every day I had to go through the pain of overhearing my peers and teammates say, "I don't get the big deal, it's just a word," while excluding me from those very conversations. My mental health steadily got worse and worse during my time at New Trier as I kept being reminded of my place within this white institution. Anyone who knows me knows that I had terrible classroom anxiety in high school, in large part due to the overwhelmingly white classrooms and the subjects taught. And the social workers at New Trier were never able to help me deal with my anxiety. And you know why? Because the New Trier's social work department is also full of white people that can never empathize with the racism that students of color experience. New Trier loves to flaunt its overpaid staff. Why are they so proud that their staff is just as white and wealthy as their student body? Dear New Trier Township, if you want to improve your public image and make sure that your students of color have a decent learning experience, there's some things you need to do. Number one, bring back seminar day. By getting rid of it, your student body is being taught that Black and brown history is optional. Your students are uncomfortable saying the word Black, but consistently use the N-word in the hallways. They're blissfully ignorant to what life is like outside of their white North Shore bubbles, and it's your job to burst it. Number two, actively do something about your racist students. New Trier has a harmful habit of giving racists a slap on the wrist for doing things that are worthy of expulsion. Your current advisor chairs are promoting white supremacy at your supposedly progressive institution, and we all see it. Number three, diversify your staff and your U.S. history curriculum. How can your students expect to learn about the world when they're only being taught about white people by white people? Your students need to learn about more than just slavery and MLK. They need to learn about the national protests just like this one that took place in order to move America forward. They need to learn about the U.S. prison system. They need to learn about modern segregation. They need to know what it takes to end racism in America. And number four, New Trier, you need to amplify the voices of your Black students and your students of color. Listen when we speak about racism and what we experience. Use your power to improve the lives of your most vulnerable students. Everybody here has a voice. New Trier can become the impressive, inclusive school that it claims to be if we all do our part to implement change. There's already petitions to bring back seminar day and include Black history in the U.S. history curriculum at New Trier. Sign those petitions. I believe the links are available on our Facebook page. Let's get the attention of the school board and demand a more diverse staff. Needs to be diversified everywhere, but especially in the social studies and the social work departments. We need to let New Trier know that the ignorance of its staff will no longer be tolerated. I want my younger sister, an incoming freshman at New Trier, to have a better experience than I had. If we all work together to demand a better learning environment for our community, we can ensure that New Trier becomes the inclusive, forward-thinking high school that its future students deserve. Thank you.